Hey everybody, Martin here. Like I promised, today is Thursday. It's Thursday.
Thursday.
And I'm here with Scott. Scott's my workout buddy. I've known Scott for like, I don't know, like 100 years. And basically we work out together, and he's been an inspiration to me. He, I guess, you don't want me saying this, he used to be fat.
I don't know about fat, but definitely fat.
Yeah, chubby, and
Sure.
and now he's like the fittest person I know. So that's kind of awesome. A little bit about you. You're a certified trainer. You've got you've done the Ironman. You've done marathons. You've done the Spartan race. You've done what's the other, the Tough Mudder.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy, he does it all. He's like I said, he's the fittest person I know. It's crazy. If you ever come out to Friday Night Lights at level 10, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, we always have good times there. So thanks, Marty.
Yeah, but Scott's been my inspiration for this no sugar thing actually, and a lot of different like getting fit things. I remember when I said I was gonna do no sugar. What was the first thing he said to me?
Oh yeah, well I pretty much laughed and told you that going no sugar was impossible. So as much as you even tried
very encouraging.
It's pretty much impossible to go no sugar.
Yeah, it was super encouraging.
But low sugar, that's a different thing.
Low sugar, yes.
And you can definitely do things to improve that.
Yeah, so like a realistic goal, let's talk about a realistic goal, because like I've been doing this. Today is what is today, the 27th, 28th?
Yeah, 28th. Yeah.
Okay. So 28 days with no sugar for me.
Low sugar. Yeah.
And so let's talk about what is a realistic thing about not doing sugar. Like what do you think? Like what would be realistic?
Realistic, I think, a lot of it, because everyone's in different places, right, in terms of their diet and their lifestyle and so forth. So I think that awareness is one of the main things, like in general, right?
Okay.
So I think that if you can be just aware, so it's things like looking at food labels, thinking about what you're eating, just paying more attention to that, I think that's a good first step.
Yeah.
Because some people, maybe they're drinking like 15 cans of Coke a day or eating like a cake a day, but other people are like, well, no, they don't do that, but they still maybe are consuming sugar and they don't even know it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you don't know. Like I was looking, I'm a cornflakes guy. I love cornflakes. I know, no, that's not the healthiest thing. But like I was looking at the box of cornflakes yesterday, and there's 3 grams of sugar in a cup of cornflakes. Like you can't. So it's like they don't even taste sweet. But guess what?
Yeah, that's right.
So much for no sugar, right? So.
Well, and that's the thing. Like with sugar, a lot of the offenders. So. Processed food in general. I mean, that's one of the reasons I say like it's good to stay away from processed food.
Right.
For a host of reasons. I mean, you want to typically do whole foods, natural foods, but that's one of the reasons is because they add a lot of sugar to things.
Right.
Things you wouldn't think about, like pasta sauce.
Well,
if you go and think, oh yeah, pasta sauce is healthy because it's got tomatoes and vegetables and all this in it. They usually add a bunch of sugar to it.
Yeah.
And why? I don't know. But they do that. Same with salad dressings.
Yeah.
Something you'd think about, like, oh, I'll be healthy, I'm eating a salad. Salad dressing can have like a bunch of sugar in it.
I've heard this before, yeah.
Yeah, so just things that you don't even think about. So that's where, like I say, an awareness is often a good thing to begin with, right? And then just making certain choices and making manageable choices. Yeah. Like there's certain people who, if they have a really strong willpower and like really good discipline, they can do things like go cold turkey. They can really make huge changes, but it's tough for the majority of people. That's another thing I say is that it's better to try to do small, manageable changes, and you'd be surprised, at how effective that can be. You don't need to make some wholesale change, and because then it's not also sustainable.
Right. Yeah, that's a big problem.
You make big changes,
right?
and that's something like with diet and in general your lifestyle. You want it to be part of your lifestyle. You don't want it to be a crash. Diet. I have to do this for 2 weeks and it's going to suck. And maybe I'll see some short-term results, but it's not sustainable and I hate it, then... You're
just going to go back, right? You're just going to...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, like, in terms of... So, let's start with this. Like, what was your journey? Tell us about your journey. Like,
sure.
Yeah, like, I remember in university, like, you were just an ordinary, like, chubby university student, and now this guy's like unbelievable. I think he can do like 1,000 pull-ups.
Well, I don't know about that, but
but anyway, talk about that a little.
Yeah, so I guess in university, my main focus was my studies and whatnot, and so it's like studying and partying, right? Like that's what you do in university. So I'm like drinking a bunch of beer, I'm sitting around in class all day, and I'm not physically active. Yeah. So my metabolism finally caught up with me, and I started putting on weight. So I'm putting on weight. I wasn't super heavy or anything, but I was north of 200 pounds, right? And
Wow,
but not
really?
fit.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And but I just wasn't that fit.
Yeah.
Never stepped foot in a gym before in my life, so I wasn't active.
Yeah.
Right? You can appreciate this being a musician too, right? I'm a musician as well. I was like the band geek, right? So I was more, if anything, my activities were like around music, not, which is also more sitting and not as physically active, rather than sports.
Yeah.
So, but no, for me, it's tough to say exactly when it happened, but it was sort of like a switch going off. Like one day I was just like, I don't like the direction I'm going, and I want to make some changes.
Yeah.
So then it was, okay, what can I do to clean up my diet? What can I do to, become more active?
Right.
So, and that was it for me, was like, I want to be more active, so I'm going to start going to the gym.
Yeah.
But what I found out too is that, and we've talked about this a lot, right, is diet is honestly like 70, 80, 90% of it.
Hallelujah. That is, what is that saying about the out training the diet? Like, this is the best.
Oh, yeah, you can't, the saying is you can't out train a bad diet.
It's the best saying. It's so true. It's so true.
The idea with that is that if you work out, if you go to the gym, if you spend some time on the treadmill, but then you go home and you eat like crap or whatnot. Yeah, exactly. Eat a cake or, scarf down 2 pizzas. That's ultimately, if you're going to the gym to lose weight, that's not the optimum way. You need to have your diet dialed in.
Yeah.
So that's effectively what I did. I started working out more, and again, small, manageable, chunks, right?
Yeah.
And then diet, I started making some changes. Now again, I made changes maybe a bit quicker than the average person, because I did kind of go cold turkey on some stuff, but it was still it was a progression. So I was kind of doing your typical stuff. I was drinking a ton of pop, like Coke and all that. I was eating, a bunch of like processed food, like, chips and, whether it's like Doritos or, that kind of stuff, like a lot, all the time.
Doritos.
Cake, chocolate, candy, you name it, like all the things that now ice cream.
Good times.
Yeah, but that was kind of my normal diet, and I wasn't getting enough healthy food, and I was eating a lot of unhealthy food.
Yeah, right.
So one of the big changes I made was when I cut pop out of my diet. Like when I stopped drinking Coke and stuff, the weight honestly melted off. And it's because, getting back to kind of our theme here, is that there's so much sugar.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's like somebody said it's an automatic 3 pounds. Like you give up pop, 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is awesome. So in terms of, and it kind of brings me to this thing I wanted to ask. So like, if you're somebody that's like, wanting to make a change, but really, doesn't know where to start, or you always hear these like crazy. Everybody's talking about keto. Everybody's talking about fasting, and it's like crazy and overwhelming, right? So you're like, what? Like, I can't do this. Where do I start? Like, just average person working 9 to 5. Coming home eating like fast food on the way home in the car. Like the type of person. Like, what would you do first? Like, just make a small change to go in the right direction.
Yeah. So again, I think like I said before, awareness is key for starters. Yep. If you're eating a lot of food, if you're grabbing stuff, wherever, look at the nutrition label and educate yourself on how much sugar is actually in things and how much, if the ingredient list on something you're eating is like 10 pages long and has a bunch of chemicals you can't pronounce, it's probably not the healthiest for you. So try to stick to, healthier choices in that respect. But again, it can be simple choices. Like if you drink a lot of, again, Coke or whatever, try to just cut back on it. You don't need to even go cold turkey, but try to maybe drinking more water in general is a good thing.
Yes.
A lot of people are dehydrated. They should drink more water. So in general, drink more water, but also then, maybe replace, the pop or whatever you're drinking with water instead. Sure. Right? Things like that. So try to make some healthy substitutes. So things like pop or, candy bars or, whatever you're eating.
Yeah.
Try to scale back on that. And there's other diet changes you could make too to help, to help facilitate that too.
Sure.
So like breakfast, we've talked about that before too, right?
Many times.
That was one of the big changes I made too, where I used to be, classic cereal and toast guy for breakfast. That's
just
all
pure carbs.
Pure carbs. That's right. And again with cereal, kind of like to your thing on cornflakes. Processed, right? So that's the other thing. Like cereal is, for the most part, it's all processed food. Yeah. Right? Like you don't go into a farmer's field or something and see like Fruit Loops growing off of, like things, right? Like no, it's processed. That means stuff has been done to it. It's been chemically altered or sugar's been added or whatever. Yeah. So again, that's not the best. And you know, and that's the case with, you know, refined. Not to get too much into the science and whatnot, but like with refined carbohydrates and refined sugar, there's not as much fiber. Your body absorbs it quickly, and it can mess with some of your hormones that, you know, send off signals in your body that tell you whether you're full or not. So long story short,
interesting.
like fructose is especially that, like fructose is a form of sugar.
Yeah.
So whereas you maybe heard of glucose and fructose, like glucose is kind of what our body uses for fuel.
Yeah.
That, when you consume it, it affects your hunger hormones and tells you that you're full. Fructose does not.
Oh.
So that's why sometimes when you have like these empty calories or these, you know, some of these sugars, you can eat and your tendency is to overeat because your body's not getting the signals that it's full.
Whoa, that's crazy. I had no idea. Yeah. That's crazy.
So
when you can like pound 7 chocolate bars and be like, oh, awesome.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
So with something like cereal and toast, that's why often, like, I guess toast maybe would fill you up, but cereal, often I found myself having breakfast and then I would be hungry like an hour later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that doesn't help if you're trying to lose weight or, you know, just be healthy in general.
Sure, yeah.
So what I did was I started introducing more proteins and more fats in my breakfast. So honestly, I would eat more eggs. I'd make myself an omelet or have hard-boiled eggs or just scrambled eggs or something like that.
Yeah.
And just have a bit more protein and fat-rich diet, because protein and fat take longer for your body to process, and it's more, what they say, satiating. Like it's more, you feel fuller longer.
Yeah.
So then your tendency to overeat or to snack and to snack on bad things goes down. So you're doing yourself a favor. That, and again, drinking water, because water will help make you feel full too. And often people will think they're hungry when they're actually thirsty. Especially if you have high sodium in your diet, that makes you thirsty.
Wow.
But you may think you need to eat more.
God, it's complicated.
It is. Yeah.
But actually it's not, because really, like, the two things are drink more water, right? Like drinking water, and then take some of this fructose out of your life, right?
Yeah.
So
just sugar in general.
Yeah. So maybe like instead of cereal, have some eggs. It's not a difficult change. Like,
no, I'm not saying it
shouldn't be.
It doesn't need to be. And like I said, there's a lot of science behind it. I'm a research addict when it comes to that stuff.
No way.
Health and wellness is one of my passions, right? So yeah, I research this stuff down to like the biochemistry and the hormones and stuff, and you don't need to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I like educating myself as much as possible so I can share information and hopefully help other people. Like that's kind of my mission, right?
It's super interesting, and like the fact that like the whole thing about sugar, like and being able to ingest so much of it, because you don't get the message from your body that you're full. I mean, that's crazy. Like so it's no wonder you can just pound, like I said, 7 chocolate bars and be like, feel completely okay with that.
Well, and it's
not even
that
full.
And it's also the addiction factor.
Well, yeah.
That's the other thing, is that sugar legitimately has an addiction aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, studies have shown that at least like chronic exposure to it is very similar to the same as like nicotine, like smoking.
Cool.
Right? So there is an addictive, again, and fructose, again, especially, hits the reward centers of your brain. So it stimulates a lot of the same stuff that alcohol or smoking or like heroin would hit. So it's not just, I'm eating this and it tastes good. Like, no, it actually has an effect on your body.
This is why I think that's why it's so hard for people to quit it, right? Like, I mean, generally speaking, because I should qualify. Me and my wife, that's why we quit sugar in March. We decided we're going to get a little bit healthier. But it's not like we were like eating, ice cream cakes every day, right? But I have noticed that for the first little while, there's a little bit of a struggle, and but there's cravings that come back even towards the end of this month. Like I said, I'm keeping it under 25 grams, right? So, and it's challenging. You'd be surprised how hard that is to do. But like I found that even like yesterday, and I've actually figured out when my cravings are. Like they're usually between like 2 or 3 p.m. after lunch. It's that kind of lull in the day, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a Mars bar, or whatever, right? But even now, after 27, 28 days of this, they're not as strong, but they're still there, which is. It's like freaking heroin, It's just like, I mean, it's terrible stuff. Yeah. So that's just, my God. And and we're eating this crap every day. Everybody's eating this stuff every day.
Yeah, well, it's the nature of the diet, and that's like the diet we have here in like the Western diet they call it, or in North America, and it's tricky because it is everywhere. So you have to make a conscious effort to not eat it, right?
Reading those food labels and making sure, like,
But it's like anything else. I find like when I got rid of sugar, or again, reduced it from my diet, I felt way better, because then you don't get those highs and those like the crashes, right? Because you get like a big spike where you feel like you can like go run a marathon.
Oh yeah.
And then an hour later you're crashing and you feel like crap.
Yeah.
Right? So and there again, like that's why I've said it before, and it's sort of oversimplifying it, when we've talked about like weight loss or fat loss, right? Is that fat doesn't make you fat, carbs make you fat.
Yeah, don't be carb.
So, but I mean, it's not all carbs in general, right? Because like carbs include like your starches, so like grains, like vegetables. I mean, obviously you don't want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
But those have fiber in them. Fiber helps with digestion and everything, and it helps lower how quickly that sugar hits your system.
Right.
Whereas simple sugars, like simple carbs.
Yeah.
So whether that's like candy or fruit. Or milk, right? Like lactose, or you hear about lactose. That's like fructose, glucose, lactose. Those are all forms of sugar.
Yeah.
Those will hit your, there's no fiber, so they hit your system faster. That's what causes the spike and the crash.
Right. So tell me about so fruit juice. This is an interesting one. Tell me about fruit juice.
So this gets back to, I guess, kind of my journey and my progression too, right? So again, I wanted to cut out like pop and drinking, some of that. Crap.
Yeah.
So I moved to fruit juice. I thought, hey, if I'm going to drink something, fruit juice. It's fruit juice. Hey, it's fruit. It's good for you, right?
Yeah.
Then what I learned was that, okay, so again, if you want to talk about simple changes, I would probably recommend that if somebody's really struggling, to at least move from pop to fruit juice.
Sure.
But honestly, get off fruit juice too. One of my rules is don't drink your fruit. Eating fruit is fine. Like, again, it's a source of sugar, and that's okay. But again, in fruit, you've got fiber, you've got other minerals and vitamins and other good things.
Yeah. Yes.
But with fruit juice, it's processed. It's like processed food. They've taken fruit, they've ripped away all this fiber, and they've ripped away a lot of the nutrients, and then they concentrate it. So you hear about fruit juice from concentrate.
Yeah.
Well, it's all concentrated. So what happens is that if you have like a glass of orange juice or a glass of apple juice or whatever, you're probably drinking the equivalent like of sugar of probably like 6 apples in a glass. But think about it, you can pound back a glass of juice
very easy,
like nothing.
Yeah.
But there again, there's no fiber to slow down that sugar in your system. You get that spike, and then you get that crash. Yeah. And if you think about it, could you physically sit down and eat 6 apples in one sitting?
It's not. I mean, it's hard to do.
It would be hard to do, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And it's because nature designs these things in a certain way, right? Like, an apple or whatever is a nice package of the right amount of sugar, the right amount of fiber, the right amount of this and that.
Yeah.
But if you strip that away and you process it, you're basically mainlining sugar when you drink fruit juice. So I mean, like, long story short, people think fruit juice is a healthy part of a breakfast, or just in general, it's not.
Don't do it.
It's not. So that's another thing too.
Yeah. So one other thing I really wanted to ask you is if you're getting a sugar craving, and this is because this is going to be a problem for a lot of people. What are some of the ways to combat that? Like, I know we talked about maybe drinking a glass of water.
Yeah,
right?
Drink some water.
That's worked for me. But anything else, like in terms of healthy snacks, something you can prepare, something you can take with you. What is like kind of a go-to? Maybe tell us what you would go to, and what you would suggest for somebody that's maybe just kind of trying to go in the right direction.
Yeah. Again, it's tough because I have, I guess, more of a specific type of diet, right?
Sure.
I eat a lot of homemade things. I know people sometimes don't have that opportunity or that luxury to do things, but there at least you control the ingredients. But yeah, I mean, if you've got a craving, I would say try drinking some water instead, right? You'll feel full, or try snacking on things like, if you can bring stuff from home, like just cut up veggies, something like that. If you like chocolate, maybe try eating like dark chocolate, because chocolate, like proper dark chocolate, again, this is where you got to look at the ingredient labels. Yeah. But proper dark chocolate actually is healthy for you and it isn't processed to the point where it has a lot of sugar.
Right.
So you could make some changes like that. There's other things too, like I'm So I'm a peanut butter addict.
Yeah, me too.
I love that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there again, that kind of stuff is filling. So if you can, and you got to be careful in terms of, your fat intake and whatnot. Make sure it's healthy fats, and anything in excess is bad, right?
Yeah.
But again, if you can just, snack on something like have something with like some peanut butter or like I said, veggies, or just even if you can have some sort of like healthy crackers that aren't processed as much as opposed to chips or something like that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so and I know not everybody is like, oh, I want to eat veggies and stuff as a snack.
It's a tough change. It's a tough change. Honestly,
But honestly, the other thing though too, what I found is in terms of curbing those cravings is, again, if you can change your diet in general so that you're eating more protein and fat that's going to make you feel fuller, you're probably not likely going to feel as hungry as often, so you probably won't maybe have those cravings as much.
That's good. That's interesting. Okay, so last thing would be if you were to start one change right now, like one change, if you're like just a chubby regular person and you just want to like make I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay, you're just a regular person. You don't have to be chubby, but maybe you want to just get a little bit healthier. And I want to start today. I mean, it's 9:30 in the morning. I'm going to start today. What do I do? One change, something easy, something we can all kind of relate to.
Again, I'd say, look at your diet and have that awareness. Look at what you're consuming and gauge how much sugar you're having, and I would just say cut back.
Yeah.
Like that's an easy step you can make. If you're drinking, 3 cans of Coke a day, cut it back to 2. If you're having 2 candy bars a day or something like that, cut it back to 1, and just start making gradual changes, and then maybe gradually just start making some substitutes. Think about just introducing a bit more healthy food in.
Nice.
Right? And another thing too, like on the the fruit juice side too, is like smoothies. That's something else you got to watch out for too.
Right.
Is a lot of people then will go into things like they'll have like I see people walking around with the big booster juices, right?
Oh yeah.
If you have like vegetables in a smoothie, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you have just pure fruit juice in a smoothie, there again, people will think smoothies are healthy, but again, you got a ton of fruit juice, a ton of sugar in it. That isn't. Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Healthy. So again, just being conscious of those things and cutting back, introducing some healthy things more gradually. It's tough to say broad, right? Because everyone's at different stages. Everyone has different cravings, different levels of willpower, or that they really want to make changes,
goals.
And that's fine. Not everyone is in that place.
Sure. But at least that's a good starting point. Last but not least, if you don't mind if people like message you to ask you questions, right?
Absolutely not.
No. How do they find you?
Like on social, Instagram, I'm at Style and Scotty. So you'll probably tag
I'll probably tag it. Yeah.
On that.
Best way to do it.
Yep. And that's probably the easiest way to get hold of me, I guess, for now. Just DM me or whatever.
Yeah.
And but like I said, this kind of stuff's my passion, right?
Yeah.
Health, wellness, nutrition, fitness, and I love talking about it, and I love talking to people about it. Like if I can educate people or help them. That's one of the reasons I got my personal trainer certification as well, right? I thought, I might as well make it official, and that's something I look forward to.
Yeah, well, like I said, you're an inspiration to me. You've been an inspiration to lots of people, and if you guys, if you want to come out tomorrow night to Friday Night Lights at level 10, we'll be there.
Yep.
Getting destroyed.
Getting destroyed. Yeah. We're gluttons for punishment.
Oh yeah, it's good times.
It's a hell of a workout.
It's good times. Yeah. So anyway, I'll tag Scotty in this video, and then if you have any questions, you can always contact him. And making a small change makes a big difference. I know it has for me. It isn't always easy, but it's you got to head in the right direction because, hey, we only live once, right? Okay, I'm going to turn this off, and if you guys have any questions, you can get a hold of Scott. Okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, Marty.
Yeah, no worries. And there we go.